back in less than an hour from now. The closing gong will be sounded at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Let's cross over now to the trading floor, where Channels TV business correspondent Temple Ashaji is standing by to bring us up to speed with today's equities performance so far. Good afternoon again, Temple. So, is the market still maintaining that bullish sentiment seen earlier in the day?
Yes, it is, and it looks like it's going to end that way if we don't see any difference in the share price of Dangote Cement, which by market capitalization is 28% of the entire size of this market, if not more than that. As we speak, the market is still positive by some 0.77%. That's a few minutes ago, the last time we checked. And we've got movements in Dangote Cement, as I said, currently up by some 2.86%, telling you that the share price is still way above the 200 Naira level that it's been trading at in the past few days. Of course, that's a company that released a fairly impressive result a few days ago, and that's one of the reasons why we're still seeing this level of attraction on the company, owing to the fact that the Nigerian operation contributed more to the kind of sentiment that results came in with. You've got Union Diagnostics also doing some 10% movement in the market. But for the downside of things, we see the likes of Name-It, we see the likes of UACN from the real estate subsector of the market doing some negative numbers there. In terms of the sectors, given the kind of share price we've seen, or movement we've seen in the share price of Dangote Cement right now, it's up some 1.47%. That's the industrial goods sector now, while you got the banking sector, the consumer goods, the oil and gas, all currently looking in the negative territory. In terms of activity level of the market, we're seeing a bit of decline, some 44% decline in volume of transactions so far. For the value, it's around R1 billion that has been transacted. And for the top trade company, FCMB is currently flat in share price, but we've seen trades among 16 million units of its shares, accounting for some 27% of the entire transactions that have taken place in the market. But just before I let you go, Chimeze, it's important I mention, because this is the earnings season, we've seen Sterling Bank earnings coming into the market, interest and similar income up some 19%. That's from 7.8 billion naira, 78 billion naira, I beg your pardon, to 93.5 billion. In terms of the profit before tax, 8.5 billion, moving from 6 billion naira. That's a rise of some 29%. While we see the profit after tax rising by 38% from 5 billion to 8.2 billion naira right now in the market. The earnings per share is also really positive, up by some 38.9%, while you've got a marginal movement in the liabilities, total liabilities for the company. The marginal movement is just by 47 basis points, 0.47%. Chimeze.
Just coming in today, we had Wema Bank in the morning, we had Access Bank late yesterday, and of course now we're talking about another bank. How is the banking index looking like?
Sterling Bank. It's a bit of the negative territory. You've seen some profits taking, 0.56% is what the indices of the banking subsector sector is right now. But you know, you've got some investors that have invested way before these earnings were released. And so now that you saw the earnings released and you saw more traction coming in, the early birds that had invested in these companies, it's about time for them to take profits. That's why we see the index down right now. That doesn't mean that is the way to end for today, Tuesday. It should, of course, we're a few minutes away from the close of the market. More brokers are coming in while others are exiting. So it's best for us to just keep our fingers crossed and see how things pan out at the end of the day. But I think it is a good time to make entry into the banking sector, which is one of the major peaks in those markets, if you ask me. Chimeze.
Well, Temple will continue to keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best. Thank you.